Hello, everybody. Welcome to the the Wednesday live stream. Oh boy, Galactic Tapes. You and Groove Twig. Just getting right into it. Hope you're all doing, doing well today. I'm doing pretty good. For the first time in like a month, I cleaned the studio, which it desperately needed. And then I started working on the live rig again, trying different combinations of things and whatnot, and totally forgot that it was Wednesday. And like at 3:30, I was like, oh shoot, I need to make a thumbnail and figure out what I'm going to do, because I did not have a thumbnail or any idea of what I was going to do today prepared, so decided it was time to bust out the cycles. Yeah. We got Galactic Tapes, Garen M, Groove Twig, Darth, Hansi, Nordic Beam. Hope you're all doing well. Model Cycles is a very interesting piece of gear, in my opinion. I noticed right now on Amazon, at least in the US, they're on sale for $299, which is a great deal just for the sequencer alone, which is my favorite part of the cycles. The sound engine is all right. The FM stuff, I definitely don't hate it. It's not my favorite, but it's more than passable. But the sequencer is really the draw here. I actually quite often will use the sequencer on the Model Cycles for things like the Volca drum, which I actually just got back from Groove Twig, who was holding on to my Volca drum for a bit. I went and visited him last weekend, which was a lot of fun. Me and my sister-in-law drove up there for a couple nights, and we definitely did some jamming. We did some drum recording, which will be Friday's video. I recorded some drums very, very amateurly. We had no idea what we were doing, but I've got those samples back into the Dirty Wave M8, and it's really cool what you can do with those. So yeah, that's a little tangent there, a little sidetrack. You know what am I trying to say? I feel I lose the ability to speak English whenever I stream. But yeah, I often use the Model Cycles to sequence the Volca drum, or I really like sequencing the NTS1 with it. I don't know, I haven't really... Actually, no, that's a lie. I've also sequenced the XFM, the Live and XFM with it, and my Model D. Yeah, never mind. I've sequenced a shitload of gear with the Model Cycles. It's great. Today, though, what I want to do is actually skip right to the chord track. And you know what? No, we're going to switch to it on track 1. And I want to actually make like some nice sounding chords, which I feel like don't often happen with the Model Cycles, at least not for me. I know there are some real Model Cycles wizards out there in the YouTube space. I'm not one of them. So let's try to make some nice chords here. I'm going to use the shape knob here. How about a nice major 7? I'm just going to put one on beat 1 here. Step 1. Increase our decay. And let's drop our tempo down. One thing I will say related to the sequencer on the cycles, and this really goes for all of the Elektron boxes, it's just so efficient. Everything is laid out right in front of you. At least on the Model Cycles and the samples, ironically the two cheapest pieces of gear, you're basically knob per function. Everything can be step recorded, so if I had like something else here, I could hold this down and change the decay of this one, just that step, and it's all It's all just very intuitive. You toggle right mode on and off. Yeah, it's just very intuitive. It's an incredible piece of gear. Hey, Sadiq Cat is here. Surikatten, sorry if I'm butchering that. Justin Penman says Muzak, indeed. Yeah, let's play with this. On the cycles, there's only 4 real parameters that change your sound. Like the actual, that go into the kind of the sound design. I mean, you've got pitch and decay, your delay and reverb sends, and technically a distortion down here on the top end of the volume. But to really use that, you turn down the main volume for the track and then turn up the instrument volume. But really you're looking at color, shape, sweep, and contour, and those do different things depending on the engine that you're on. Yeah, now all we need is wrong account Terry. Also, yeah, I also want to try the Digatone really bad. I got to touch one at KnobCon for like 2 seconds, and then I probably saw something else and ran over to that. But yeah, I would love to play with the Digatone. But yeah, these 4 knobs do different things depending on the machine. That's what they're called here, instead of engine. I'm also going to turn off autofocus. Sorry. Forgot that was on. But on the chord track, the color knob changes your chord inversion, and the shape knob changes the chord type. So you're really only left with these 2 knobs. And we could motion sequence some of these in here, some of these changes in here, parameter lock essentially. However, we're going to use, as GrooveTwig suggests, an LFO here. Although GrooveTwig says to use it on the contour, I want to try it on the sweep first. So, to get to our LFO setup, we hold function, press this button here. And now, I always forget what SPH is on the LFO setup. But basically, we can tell our LFO to retrigger every time the note comes up. And we can also put like a fade on it, I believe that is. I'm going to turn retrigger on right now. Now we're going to go to just the main LFO page. Here is where we can select our wave shape, our speed, destination, and the depth of the modulation. So I'm going to pick a nice sine wave here for our wave. And for speed, we're going to go 1. Now I'm going to set destination to color, or sorry, sweep. Okay, now we need to select our depth. So I'm going to set this like at 60. And I'm going to set this depth as far as it'll go. That's interesting. Let's slow it down even more. Oh, is that as slow as we can go? It is. Let's pick the envelope shape then. Don't like it. That's interesting, though. I'm going to go back to that sine wave. Let's just go negative on the depth. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. constant nightmare of trying to dial in good sounds, but really wanting parameter values to be multiples of 10. I feel that. I don't like that it goes just to 63. And I know that's like where it, you know, or 64, sorry. I know that kind of makes sense, but yeah, I prefer the numbers to be nice and clean. If we put some reverb on that. And some delay. Yeah. Now, it has been a hot minute since I've actually tried to mess or find the menu where you get to play with the effect settings for the reverb and the delay. So give me a second while I try to find those. And if someone remembers where they are, I'm just looking for really the time. I know they're in here because I've adjusted them before. I just can never, excuse me, never remember where that is. Or maybe I'm crazy and maybe those don't exist. I know feedback is shift. Maybe I'm crazy and that doesn't exist. The kick engine on the cycles is insane, yeah. It sounds so good. Alright, let's make this another 16 steps long here. Yeah, Mike, I would argue that a lot of it does sound thin, but I think the kick engine, we're going to go to track 6 for the kick. The kick can actually sound phenomenal. Depending on what you're after, of course. I forgot we're like at a super slow tempo. Let's go ahead and take that off. Alright, we're gonna go to page 2 here, and actually, hang on. This is a C5. So I want this on page 2. That delay is not synced up at all, is it? Let's give ourselves 4 on the floor here. And turn off the click. Down like an octave or so, just via pitch here. I could do it on the sequencer. Much easier here. That's sick. Mega Man gets a proper stomach punch. Groove Twig is the only person I've ever met who likes how this thing looks. Really, really going for that hospital vibe, I guess. Like you wake up and you just see the medical, the monitor there and the medical console. I don't know what any of that stuff's called, sorry. Snare drum does kind of suck. I will not argue with anybody who complains about the snare drum on this. I have spent a very long time trying to get good snare drums out of the model cycles. And it's quite difficult. I love that snare drum, just in the second measure there. Let's give it some delay. With some hi-hats. Oh god, they're only on the second measure. Tell you what, let's actually use the chance and condition section here to make something interesting. Super random. So here's what it sounds like without anything conditionally going on. I'll play with the knobs up here. I want this one to be open, so we're going to extend the decay on that by a lot. And that's because that's going to line up with that kick drum right at in the second measure there. Yeah. Give it some reverb? What do you mean? What do we need? Oh, reverb on the snare. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. I thought I already did. Yeah, I definitely already did. Almost maxed out, actually. Oh, just kidding. That was the size. I'm an idiot. It's been a long-ass day. Go ahead and make fun of me. There we go. Yeah, I'm a dumbass. It's fine. Metallic stuff. Yeah, like that's good stuff there on those hi-hats. Let's play with the LFO on the hi-hats here. I'm gonna go random. And we're gonna set destination to pitch, fine tune, and then give it. There we go. We'll just set it to normal pitch instead of fine tune. We'll leave it at 1 there. Turn on punch, which is another parameter you have. That was cool. Let's see here. Let's give these... Whoops, get out of that menu. Do I want to give these a non-guaranteed chance to trigger? I think I do. But I want them all to be a little different. And I think there's a faster way to do this. It's been a while. But honestly, the act of doing it this way is so efficient. Or I guess not efficient, but it's really not an issue at all. Just kind of works. So I don't mind doing it this way at all. We're going to make this one higher, actually, because that's what's going to close the open hat from the previous step on the end of measure 2. I just like how easy it is to dial in exactly what you want per step. Go in the 70s on that one. There we go. And we'll go lower on this one. Lower the volume on the hat. Maybe let's come up with a bass line. So on track 4, we're actually going to use the... Well, let's try the chord track again for our bass line. I'm going to just bring it up with the volume and distortion. And that's because we can actually use the chord shape to select unison. So you don't have to do chords. Messing with the inversion, not recommended there. 4 steps long now. And I'm going to turn on the click so I get a count in. Actually, I'm not going to use a count in. I'm just going to groove with this here. Hey, Derek's here. And I don't even think we need it, really. Yeah, imagine tuning into a freebeat stream and it's like chill music. It's not like completely manic, out of control, either like bad bullshit or like stupid drum stuff. Hey, glad you like the hats. Thank you. We do have one track open, and it's the tone track, so let's make like a little ARP, I guess. Yeah? Now we can set the track length per track. So for this track, let's set it to about like 13 steps. I'm used to the Woovebox where I can shorten the track length and then make it follow the chord progression still, so it'll shift. That's so, I love that. The Woovebox is so fun for that kind of thing. But we'll do 13 steps here. And let's there we go. Okay. Go up an octave. What if we go an octave plus 0.1? What the hell did I just play? Sure. I need the click. Because we're in like 13 or whatever. That was bad. Alright, I got it. That sounds great. Oh, I've still got the click on. Whoops. Yeah, see, that stuff sounds... I mean, that's like multi-sample that thing into the MPC or something like that, right? If I had one. What was that? That sounds great. I don't even think I want to put anything LFO-wise in there. Oh, that's nasty with the punch on there. What if we set the overall track chance to like 75? Fill button, which is also the page button over here. That would work too. But yeah. Let's set the LFO to pan, actually. There we go. This off. I know there's only like 12 people in here, but if for some reason you don't know the model cycles, much like I think any Elektron groovebox, you can hold function, press temporary save, and now your pattern is saved to the temporary area. Now you can mess with whatever the hell you want. When you're ready to return to what you had, you just do function and then reload pattern. I don't know if you can see the little gray text under there starting to fade, but it's really cool. And you can also hold the track button, and then any changes you make will apply to all tracks, which can get really wacky really fast. Let's go ahead and build this up. Yeah, there we go. That was sweet. That's one of my favorite Model Cycles performances I think I've ever done. That was really fun. Man, there's a lot to be said of starting with a chord track. I rarely ever do when I'm just coming up with stuff on the cycles, but that one might actually get exported into the SP404 and maybe put in a live set somehow as like kind of like a chill section between two more chaotic pieces. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have a drink of water. Listen to this while I do it. Sorry, I forgot I muted all the other tracks. High Reality, like the snare punch. Yeah, it was a pretty decent one. Thank you. Groove Twig wants a full track. Galactic Tapes is out of here. My music was too much. He's got to go make something better. He will. I promise. Have a good one, Galactic Tapes. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. Full track or part of the live set? I kind of feel like I'm secretly working on like a behind-the-scenes M8 full album right now. Like every time I sit down with it, I just wind up coming up with something that I love. This was very refreshing, though, to sit down and come up with something like that on the cycles. Both live set and full track? Maybe. I have a real problem when I'm working on music. Like, so if I go into a session wanting to jam, then I will like fully flesh out one jam, and then I'll have a really hard time trying to make something that like, you know, grows off of that. Whereas if I go in the mindset like I'm going to write a song, then I'll go in and I find I'll work on separate sections quite easily. This was just going to be a jam, but I don't know. I might be able to come up with something else out of that. Not looking forward to recording this all out individually, even though it's just one pattern. It's kind of a pain to do it on the cycles because we don't have stem export, so you literally just have to mute everything. Record a couple pass-throughs. Yeah, rather than a full track, this will probably go into the MPC. Or, nope. Oh my god, not the MPC. Nope, definitely not that. Into the SP. Into the SP404 Mark II. And I'll probably make a full track out of it for the live set. If you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, I did mention I've been working on my live rig again. Lots of input and help from Groove Twig today, actually, just going back and forth on the Freebeat Discord server. Which, if stop laughing at the MPC, I can tell that I'm a little bit ahead of all you, because Groove Twig just said ha 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 ha, and I know it's in reference to the MPC. Derek, I'm going to blow your mind right now. I don't have an MPC to put that into anymore. Mind blown. But the live rig right now, it's shrunk since the last time everybody saw that video I did a couple months ago. That was just a bit too big. Just a bit too complicated. A bit too much. So now it's just the SPDSX for the drums, as well as the snare pad and the kick drum pedal. Then the SP404. Then the Roland E4 for vocals. The Keystep 37 controlling it. And the also the 1010 Fireball as the only other synth, and the Keystep also controls that. I just switched between them. And then the 1010 Blue Box for the mixer, and that's the whole live rig right now. We did have a chat about MPCs earlier. I don't recall saying I was going to get the 61. If anything, I said I was going to go double-decker 2 Key 61s. I think that the MPC 37 is a great idea. I actually quite like the price point. It's right. It's $1,000, right? Is that where it is? I think that's pretty solid. That's about like what Roland or Korg or Yamaha would charge for an entry level like workstation, like the Phantom or the Kronos or something like that. And that's essentially what the MPC Keys series is. I think that the 37 is a good product for people who enjoy that MPC workflow. And built-in keys, very cool. However, I recently got to finally play an MPC Key 61 in Guitar Center recently. Actually, I feel like I've talked a lot about Groove Twig, but up at visiting Groove Twig, we went to a Guitar Center and they had an MPC Key 61, and yep, that's $2,000 that I won't have to spend, which is pretty cool. I love this chord sound so much. I kind of want to save it. Oh boy. Save preset. Save preset. Yes. It's been so long. I'm just going to save it to the... I'm just like in the main directory right now. That's fine. Whatever. I try not to be that person who just saves shit to my desktop, but sometimes it happens. I'm going to call this very originally chord. Chords with a Z. There we go. Yeah, I'm literally in the root. That's fine. That's fine. Garen, I do believe, isn't there an entry-level Kronos? I know there's entry-level Phantoms for about $1,000 now. Maybe not for the 61 key. But the MPC Kick 61 key is $2,000. The 37 key is $1,000. Which I could have sworn, hang on, isn't there a cheap Phantom out there? Not cheap, but like the Roland Phantom. Yeah, the Phantom 06. Is that it? Maybe? Phantom 0? Yeah, I'm seeing somewhat affordable prices around here. Oh, the 06 is $1,600. I could have sworn there was a $1,000 Phantom. Maybe not. Yeah, if you want if you're okay with a used MPC one, then yeah, the Keys 37 is not a very good deal. But if someone is out there looking to so kind of much like the MPC one, like for a lot of people, that's the only piece of gear they'll ever need. The MPC Keys 37 could be that for someone out there too. Anyone out there who's combining an MPC one with a MIDI controller, the Keys 37, if it's in your price range, seems like a no-brainer. Oh, the Cross 2 is about $1,000, but it's really stripped down. I see. Man, I've got some local Phantoms in my area that are pretty cheap. Korg, Roland, and Yamaha low-cost workstations start at about $1,000 and go up. Yeah, and that's where the MPC Keys 37 is starting to. So I think that's right in line. I don't think there's anything crazy about it, price-wise. Obviously, unless you're comparing it to a used Keystep 37. What would probably get me to drop a lot of money is if they released a Force with a built-in keyboard. Like a Keystep, or not a Keystep, Nakai Force Keys 49 maybe? That would be pretty cool. How'd this turn into an MPC stream? Those 1K models are all 61 key. Yeah, I mean that is important to a lot of people buying workstations. I feel like it might not be as important to the MPC community. If those 61 key workstation offerings are stripped down, and then they still have 61 keys. I mean, the MPC, yeah, it only has 37 keys, but from what I've seen, it's not really a stripped down experience compared to the other MPC products. So I still think it evens out pretty fairly. The grid controller part of the Force is a key piece. Yeah, but for like actually writing, I do like to have at least like an octave and a half right in front of me, you know? It does really help. I know that's a personal preference thing too. And it's clearly not as important in the electronic... Well, I shouldn't say in the whole of the electronic music community, but I mean, there's like a reason the Digatone keys failed, you know? I don't really see anyone buying those. I think they're discontinued. Saw someone in an MPC Facebook group yesterday. If I saw what you guys were like before buying an MPC, I would have quit music. Oh my god. That's so funny. Yeah, grid controllers do feel more natural to some folks, and that's... I mean, if you weren't... Like, if you haven't been around keyboards your whole life, that's probably true for a lot of people. Yeah, Garen, that was kind of my... That's what I was trying to say. I think that the MPC trades the extra 2 octaves of keys for more functionality in the software and probably hardware. I'm not sure IO-wise what it's got on those other competitors, but yeah. Yeah, MPC target audience is quite different than cheap 61 key workstations too. That is very true. Yeah. I still get people thinking that I just like hate the MPC, which I don't. I don't hate the MPC. The workflow is just not for me. That's all I'll say there. It's a terrible sound. That's awful. I hate that. A digital guitar-based groove box? Okay, so one thing I've wanted for the longest time is, and I know they exist, I just know they're expensive. I want a MIDI bass guitar so bad. Like a proper one. I got that Artifon thing for the New Year's show 2 years ago. I borrowed that from Zounds. And that thing was dog shit. That thing was so bad. I wound up sending it. I mean, I was just borrowing it from Sounds, but I sent it back like a few days after that show, and I never want to touch it again. Also, what was their other product? The Orba? Was that Artifon? Yeah. They reached out to me wanting me to take a look at the 2, and I either declined or didn't respond because I found out that like they promised a bunch of features in the Orba 1, and then I'm just going off on a rant now. And then they just kind of dragged people along, telling them they were going to come to the 1, then they just put them in the 2 and didn't really help people out. Yeah. Yeah, that's a shitty thing to do. MIDI guitar is very cool in theory, but no one does anything that you like with them. That's the thing. Like, I feel like you could do so much, and they're just really not used. I'm not exactly sure why, but a proper MIDI bass guitar. That's all I want. That'd be so sick. With, you know, good tracking, or even just like a synth bass guitar. I don't know how that would really work. It's not my wheelhouse at all. But I think being able to play like melodies on, I mean, you could say, you know, guitar, but I play bass way better than guitar, as Groove Twig will tell everybody. And I'm bad at bass too, but MIDI can hide a lot. So I feel like a MIDI bass would be really sick, and I would love to run that into like the 1010 Fireball or the Micro Freak or something. The Cobalt, yeah. I should probably play something else on the cycles, right? Let's go to pattern 2. And there's just nothing here now. I didn't realize the tracks reset too. That's dumb. Really? Have I never noticed that? The Aerophone? Oh, I forgot you have one of those. Yeah, those do look cool too. I cannot play wind instruments to save my life except the recorder. But I would love... I don't know. I'm always looking for new ways to perform stuff, you know? Yeah, trouble with MIDI guitar is that it's hard to translate the sound of the strings into the MIDI data, and then you can't play back the MIDI data on the guitar. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I don't know how I've never noticed that you can't, or that when you change patterns in a project, it resets your tracks. However, if I go pattern 1 and then hang on. It's been so long. How the hell do you copy a pattern? There we go. Copy pattern. And then paste. Figured it out. Now we have all the data in there. And to clear the pattern... There we go, yeah. And then you just have to do that for each track? Nope, I did it. Okay, cool. Let's just do something random. What the heck? Oh, I put them all on the last page. No? Why didn't those get sequenced? Oh, all the patterns are muted. There we go. Now, whoops, we can make this 16 steps long. We'll give this pattern its own tempo. And the snare drum. Some shitty drums so we can switch between these two. It's coming. Why do I not hate that? Hi, Destin. Yes, Cycles is an FM box. There you go. Don't know if I'm going to hit save after that there. Alright, it has reached 6 p.m. local time for me, which means this stream is wrapping up. Yeah, 2 patterns at different tempos with tempo sync delay, even though we're not technically tempo synced on the delay here, but yeah, there's some cool stuff. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this one. Thank you for hanging out. I know the Cycles isn't the most exciting piece of gear, but it's definitely worth using if you have it, because it's super fun. You can get some cool stuff out of it. I think this whole stream was worth it, just for those beautiful chords alone. Mike, enjoy your sunny St. Petersburg, Florida. It's 9 p.m. in St. Petersburg. Is the sun out at 9 p.m.? That's impressive if it is. Either way, have a good evening. Look out for alligators. Thank you all for hanging out. I do appreciate it. And Friday's video is going to be an interesting one. Yeah, basically coming up with a little bass line on the M8, which that's actually not part of the video. But basically we recorded some live drums using the Zoom H5 with a couple mics. And then I'm putting those into the Dirty Wave M8 and just having a bit of fun with them. Yeah. It's going to be a good time. I'm putting the finishing touches on that tomorrow, and you'll all see it Friday. Hope you're looking forward to it. Going to be a fun one. I have to come up with a title that hopefully gets more than like 5 people to watch it. So be on the lookout for the Mr. Beast in the thumbnail. No, just kidding. Sadiq Cat mocked up last week's thumbnail with Mr. Beast and a whole bunch of clickbait stuff. It was very funny. I did not use it, though, because I try to not do that. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Have a good one. Yeah, we'll see you next time.